Hi everybody and welcome to the October Q&A video. I'm Andrew Rhodes, your host here as always. Thank you so much for tuning in, for subscribing, and for everything, especially this month, everything that's going on with me. So much. Cannot thank you all enough for subscribing to the channel, for sticking by me and everything else. And like I said in my update announcement video, pending any issues, which granted we are having some now with the family, but pending any issues, looks like we have a home. So, yay! Eventually, layout will change. I'll be moving rooms, so in a way. Sorry. I got 20 questions this month to answer. Plenty of time to do it, because I gotta go to sleep so I can get up for work in the morning. So, plenty of time, so let's get into it. First question this month. If Weird Al could do a parody of Justin Bieber's hit song Baby, then how would it sound like? I haven't got a damn clue. I damned if I know. First off, I'm not going to sing on YouTube because El Copyright Bato here will find my ass and pretty much take me down in 30 seconds or less. And second, if it's not that one, Justin Bieber's groupies will. I don't think Weird Al's will give a rat's ass, but Bieber's will. So, yeah. I mean, it would all depend upon what he chooses for it anyway. I mean, for Madonna's Like a Virgin parody that he did, it's called Like a Surgeon. So there is that. He did some original music too, so I don't really know what it would sound like. It would all depend on how he comes out. Personally, I wouldn't mind like a polka remix of it, to be honest with you. That'd be pretty cool. Alright. That's like all I can say for it. Sorry. Let's see here. Number 2. Don't you just hate it when people say bad stuff about a new show or about a show that only had one season without giving it too much of a chance? Yeah, that does piss me off, actually. It's not really even much of a question. But yeah, it does piss me off. I mean, a show, a season basically for a series, if it can't pick itself up within like the first 5 episodes, then even I drop it. Because at that point, I'm not going to waste my time on a show that obviously is not going anywhere. The ratings for it are going to tank. It'll probably get taken off the air at some point. I mean, look at CBS. I loved 3 of the shows that they had on their network for the longest time, and then they ditched their asses almost instantly. I thought Partners was kind of funny. I thought Rob was pretty good, and there was another one that I can't think of off the top of my head, but there was like 3 shows that CBS did that I really... No, I hated that one. I was thinking that Robin Williams, Ally McBeal one, but I hated that one, actually. That one, I actually feel like CBS personally shafted him. Like, they just dug in the knife to finish him off. And then he had his... Well, he was already fighting demons and everything else prior to that, and that didn't help in the least. But, yeah, so there's like 3 shows that CBS had done that I really hated. I mean, 3 of them that I liked, and they just up and canceled them just like that because, the ratings suck, and there's no good ratings. And it's like, no, the ratings were fine. You just didn't like it because it didn't fit you, it didn't suit you, and you just hated it. So, yeah. But, yeah, it does bother me a lot when people just flat out say bad shit about a show. It only had, like, 1 season. But, now, granted, if the show sucks to them, but it's good enough that the rest of everybody loved it, yeah, that's called they're giving their opinion on it. I mean, I do the same thing. Oh, well, this show's been out for 3 seasons. Season 1 was a shit show. How it managed to survive, I don't know. And I do that too. It's the nature of the beast. I do that too. But, yeah, it does bother me. At least give the show a few episodes. It's my prerogative. I usually give it 3 to 5 episodes to get its shit together. If it's a Kamen Rider or Sentai show, I'll give it 3 to 5 episodes. It's the whole reason why I kind of fell off the radar with a lot of the Kamen Rider and Sentai stuff was because of Ex-Aid. Because Ex-Aid was... I hated it. It was pure garbage to me. It pissed me off. So when X-Aid was on, it was also the same time that Q-Ranger was on, and that's kind of why I missed a lot of Q-Ranger, because I didn't want to put up with X-Aid, and I always tried to watch the two of them together since they were always partnered with each other. It's a superhero time block. So not watching the one does kind of not make me want to watch the other one, and that's why I missed a lot of Q-Ranger. I missed a lot of Loop. I missed almost all of Lupin Ranger. I saw like 2, 3 episodes that somehow found their way up on YouTube, but I didn't watch a lot of Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger. I didn't watch Q. It was a Q Ranger. I didn't watch that one. Yeah, and that was why, because I fell off with X-Aid, the Kamen Rider series, and that kind of prevented me from watching Kamen Rider Build, which was a really good series, and I plan to actually try to watch that if I can, and Zeo, which was really good, and I've seen clips of both of them, and I'm like, I missed both of these because X8 sucks so bad, and I just lost complete track of it, because when you do something for so long, you like watch something weekly, then when the new episodes come out, you're still watching it because you're used to that routine, but then just like that, I stopped watching it, so then something else took up its space and its time, and I was like, I don't feel like watching it, I don't feel like watching it, I don't feel like watching it. Now it's like, and I should have watched it because I missed so much of it, and it pisses me off, I won't lie. But yeah, so that does suck a lot. But yeah, I do hate that. At least give the show a chance before you start bad mouthing it. But yeah, if the first season sucks for you, you're just giving your opinion. I mean, if it's at least got a season in, yeah, okay, you at least have a good 13 episodes to judge. But if it's like half a season in, I don't even try. I mean, it might be good. It's basically all your opinion. But yeah, it does bother me. But it's, like I said, it's the nature of the beast. We all do it. What are the top 8 topics that you have discussed on your channel, other than SpongeBob, Nickelodeon, Disney, and Cartoon Network, that really made you mad to the point of wanting to destroy your house? None, actually. None. I can say none. I mean, I've gotten pissed off at, like, the Teen Titans Go versus Thundercats, or Teen Titans Go v Thundercats Roar, whatever the fuck that thing was called. That pissed me off. I think I did the rant on what the hell was his name? Bryce. Oh yeah, that guy from the Phillies, Bryce Harper. When I found he was getting paid how damn much, and I did the math on that. Teenage Mutant Rise of the TMNT. It pissed me off. I won't lie about that one, but I really haven't done any topics that I've discussed that have pissed me off to that point. Because keep in mind, I kind of reel in a lot of the anger, and a good chunk of it is just me blowing off steam, and I really pull a lot of that back in by the time I record the video. I've like cooled down a bit, I'm not as pissed off, and I'm just like really letting it air out to completely go. But yeah, I've never gotten pissed off to the point of wanting to destroy my house, because one, this isn't technically my house. At least it wasn't for the longest time. Right now it's up in limbo, but it wasn't my house. It was my grandfather's house. Well, technically, like I said, now it's up in limbo because nothing official has been signed yet. So it's still technically in his name, even though he's dead. But the estate, blah blah blah. Like I said, limbo. But it was his house. If I were to destroy it, he would have been pissed off at me. And yeah, no, don't need that shit. So yeah, I've never been that pissed off. So I can't even answer that question, really, because I don't even have 8 topics that have really pissed me off to that point. Plus, I don't even remember half the stuff that I talked or ranted about and even discussed. Because most of the time I discuss it, then it's like vacates my mind, and then I can do something else. Because as Sherlock Holmes once said, everybody has a finite amount of space to store data and information in their minds. That was why when Watson told him about the solar system, he goes, well, that's really interesting. And now I will forget it just as quickly as you told it to me. And Watson got a little pissed off about that, and Holmes goes, I could care less if you tell me that the sun revolves around the earth. It means nothing to me or my work. And for me, I just don't remember it all because I have other stuff that has to take priority over it. It's like, okay, I discussed it, boom, done. Or, oh, I ranted about it, boom, done. And it's just out the window. I don't even remember half the rant videos I've done. I've done like over, what am I at, like 200 of them? I don't even know anymore. It's like I just rant at this point. And none of them really have gotten me. I mean, I've gotten pissed, but like to the point of me wanting to destroy something, that's kind of stretching it. Just a bit. Just a bit. What will you air if you ran your own TV channel? Anime, game shows, DIY hour, where you could like basically have, hey, here, let me show you how to make, like let's say, a item from your favorite TV show or something. Sort of like what they did on DIY Perks and like what Odin Abbott does, stuff like that. There would be like an hour long of that, so it would be like multiple parts, like multiple shows all rolled into that hour. Um, Anime definitely, Sentai, Power Rangers, Tokusatsu shit, Japanese shows, wide variety of stuff really. Uh, what I do like discussions and stuff like that, probably. Maybe have like weekly, like a Sunday, like afternoon or something. Have a weekly Tokusatsu roundup show or something, or a weekly anime roundup, where you just like discuss the anime episodes for the week. And no, before somebody asks about that, don't ask me to do that here on this channel because one, I don't watch every single anime that has a new episode during the week. I do not have the time for that. I honestly don't. And second, I wouldn't even know how to do it to begin with. That's like something you would need at least two people for to get two separate opinions. But I mean, I can give like an opinion on like newer anime that comes out and like new episodes of ones that I watch on a weekly basis. But I'd have to really commit to that, and yeah, there is that. But otherwise, stuff like that would be my channel. It would be stuff that I like. I mean, granted, people would probably hate it, but there's a group for everything in the world. You just have to really look for one. Let's see. Here's another question. What is the worst thing that you have ever seen in your life? Let's see. I'm 31, so. Well, there was one when I was a kid, but I really don't feel comfortable saying it. I mean, my mom will know, as I know my mom's watching this. She'll know what I'm talking about. Just think Wendy's, Mom. Wendy's in the phone booth. She'll know what I'm talking about. I do not want to talk about it here, though, because I get the feeling that somebody will think I'm being mean or something about it, and no, it's not happening. So that definitely was one of the worst things I ever saw in my life. I'm not gonna lie. I would probably say there's like a lot. It would depend on what your definition of worst is. To be honest with you, it would vary between person to person. But for me personally, it's just like stuff that even I don't feel comfortable talking about. But like worst, like we're talking like the worst thing that I've ever seen. Like we're taking every category into consideration here. Oh God, I could say Space Chimps. Neighbors. There's that movie Neighbors with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. That sucked ass. It was like one of the worst things I ever saw. Um, God, I just, there's like a lot that I could pick from, and I just can't think of one thing. Um, I can't. I just can't think of one particular thing. I mean, I really can't. I cannot think of one particular thing. To be honest with you, I'm sorry. I can't. I mean, I could if I sat here for like an hour and a half. I could probably think of something that probably was, but I'd really have to go back through memory lane. I don't have something off the top of my head because if it's something that this was really bad, but no, that's one of those I don't feel comfortable saying it in front of other people. That's one of those I'm keeping it to myself, sort of. That's my own private hell, sort of nightmares. So yeah, can't really. I don't really have a good answer for that. I kind of want to say. Plus, it's nice to have some mystery left, I guess, because I mean I've done a lot of these monthly Q&As. It's nice to have some mystery, but yeah, I really don't have a clue how to even answer this. I can put a pin in this one if you'd like. Um, for now, I could put a pin in this one, and I could come back to it later on in like another Q&A. But yeah, I'd really have to drudge back through memory lane. But I mean, like 31 years worth of stuff that I've seen. Well, technically less than that because I would only remember up to like when I was 5, so it'd be the starting point. So I kind of want to say like 26 years worth of stuff. So yeah, I don't have an answer off the top of my head. Sorry. Okay, next question. Do you think that The Price is Right is canceled for good because of the coronavirus pandemic? No. They're going to be restarting the filming. I saw something online about that, so I don't think they're canceled for good. It's just, it was a delay thing, and basically, I mean, in all honesty, you can honestly just show reruns of that. I really hate to say it this way, but you could show reruns of The Price is Right from like this point in the series to this point, unless there's a different stage setup. People at home really aren't going to notice it. After a while, it'll just blend in. So yeah, I don't think it was canceled. I don't think it's canceled for good either. Let's Make a Deal might have been, as I don't know about that, but I know The Price is Right. I saw something online about how they plan to restart filming in the next couple months, or are planning to restart along that line. But yeah. So no, I don't think The Price is Right has been canceled for good. At least I hope not. But I don't know. I haven't watched it in a while, so. Um, have you ever imagined a time when cartoon shows and anime shows would be the only shows that would keep being produced on a regular basis without too many issues? Yes, quite a few times. But if you ever watched Toonami back in the Moltar era, back with C. Martin Croker, he did make a comment that you can't make a new cartoon show every single day, and hence why we need reruns to bide time. So yeah, I mean, you could make anime shows and cartoon shows be the only shows that'll keep being produced on a regular basis, but the problem is you're going to have them overworking the staff. You're going to have them getting burned out. And when that happens, think Disney and their animator strike. Thank you, Defunctland, by the way, for teaching me about that. Poor Walt Disney didn't have a damn clue what he was doing. He really didn't. He really didn't. But yeah, stuff like that, you'd end up burning them out or pissing them off to the point that, because first off, a lot of them are union to start off with, and all they have to do is complain about working conditions, unfair treatment, exhaustingly long hours, and then you have a riot on your hands, you have strikes on your hands, and then you're done. Then you're shut down, and nobody's getting anything. So, yeah, I mean, without a lot of issues, yeah, it would be nice, but it would really take like a lot of work. Like you'd have to have 2 sets of crews, I think, almost like 2 sets of animators working like one set of work for like this month, then they get a month off and the next set come in, and then they switch off, and you get like 6 turns per year of each one will work for 6 months a year, but they would get paid extremely well. So that would be like the only way I could see that working out, because of, like I said, the long hours, possible striking, overwork, exhaustion. You have them work like massively for a month, and then they come back the next month. They, like Team A, will get off then the next month. The whole month they have off. They can recoup, recharge their batteries. They can basically, relax, unwind, de-stress, and then they're right back into it then again the following month. And then they just switch off like that. So when the A team's getting a rest, the B team takes over, and then vice versa. So that would be the only way I could see that working. But yeah, I've imagined a time where that could happen. Yeah, somewhat. Who is your favorite and/or least favorite Daily Show anchor? Craig Kilborn, Jon Stewart, or Trevor Noah? I very seldomly ever watch The Daily Show. Uh, it always came on Comedy Central like 7 o'clock at night during the weekday. I avoided it like the plague. When it came on, I would turn the channel. It never thrilled me. There were like a couple segments in it that weren't bad, like when Jon Stewart did his rant on deep dish pizza, which I thought was pretty damn funny. And the thing is, I didn't even see it when it originally aired. I saw it because I watched the Binging with Babish episode where he made deep dish pizza, and he used a quote from Jon Stewart's rant. So then I had to look up Jon Stewart's rant, and then I started laughing my ass off at Jon Stewart's rant. Yeah, that was pretty good, actually. That's what it kind of inspired two of my pizza rants, actually. But there was that that kind of led into that. But then you have like Lewis Black did an Xbox, did one where he was talking about the latest of space toys, and he was saying about how, like, the Google Glass. It's like, oh, well, I know what I can use the Google Glass for. And then they had the clip on about how Google said, you can't watch porn on these things. And he goes, oh, you underestimate my ability to masturbate the jellyfish there, don't you, Google? And I was just laughing at that pretty hard, because that was kind of funny, just like out of nowhere. Then he flips off Microsoft, which I thought was really good, because let's face it, at the time when I saw that, the wounds had finally started to heal for me having to deal with Windows Vista. So, yeah, I was really, I was laughing pretty hard at that. Plus, Lewis Black, I do kind of think is funny. But yeah, as far as my favorite or least favorite, I'll just rank the three that are listed here. Jon Stewart, Trevor Noah, Craig Kilborn. There you go. And I only know of at least one of them. I'm not sure who Trevor Noah is. I don't know if that's the latest one or what. So, yeah, because I don't watch The Daily Show that much. I really don't. I'm not a huge... Comedy Central for me was mostly watch the comedy specials, maybe a movie that's rated comedy, and South Park, because my buddy and I were into South Park. He got me into it. And that was... My buddy Sean got me into South Park, so that was it. So, yeah. That's... Yeah, I don't really... I don't watch Comedy Central that much, so I don't really watch The Daily Show that much. So, sorry about that if you were hoping for a, like, succinct answer or something. I do apologize for that. Who is your favorite or least favorite weekend update anchor from SNL's history and why? That would be another... Okay, so, first off, I'm 31 years old. Okay? Saturday Night Live began before I was born. Like, literally, in the 80s. I have only seen clips of a lot of the older segments. Hell, I honestly was able to just find Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood on YouTube, like, earlier in the year. To, like, late last year, early this year, I found Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood on YouTube. And I was able to pull up episodes and watch them. So, I can give you, like, clips that I've seen Wise anchor, but it's really only just going to be the one clip. And it was the one, it was basically, Dan Aykroyd, and I don't know who the girl was. And I'm pretty sure it was the Weekend Update, was what they were on. I'm almost certain of it. And she made the comment, she goes, sit on this, and she, put the phone receiver down, and he just goes, Jane, you ignorant slut. And then it was a clip that was on an E! Special where they were counting down the greatest moments of SNL history. I know that Tina Fey and what's-her-name did it for a while, but like I said, I don't watch Saturday Night Live either. Let me explain this way. When I had cable, Saturdays for me went like this. Saturday nights at 8 o'clock, it was whatever the hell I could find to watch. Either I felt like watching King of the Hill, or back when Toonami was on at 8 o'clock before, like, they disappeared for a while before they ended the first time, I would watch Toonami straight through till they were done. When Toonami ended, I would watch, what the hell was it? It was a show on A&E. I watched a lot of A&E on a Saturday night. It was like The Pawn, something or other, with the two guys. no, it was, the two guys would go around and they would like buy storage lockers and they would sell the shit inside of it, try to get their money back quickly. And it was those two I would watch. It wasn't Storage Wars. It was another one that they had on A&E. Then there would be Parking Wars. When that was on for a while, I would watch that because that was usually on a Saturday night. And most of the time it was that. If I felt like watching King of the Hill, I watched King of the Hill. I think I did watch like some Nickelodeon for a little while because I was desperate. Most of the time it was like FX, FXX, or I just channel surfed. Very seldomly did I go to like Fox or ABC on a Saturday night, and NBC was like completely off the table. I very seldomly ever watched NBC. Very seldomly, if ever, watched NBC. I think the most I ever watched of it was, aside from ER, that my mom got me kind of hooked on when I was a kid. I avoided NBC with like the plague. I didn't like a lot of their programming unless it was like sporting events, like the Olympics. I was watching the Winter Olympics the one year when I was in high school because my mom couldn't get me out the door. I'm literally sitting in the living room in my underwear, and she's trying her damnedest. She comes to drive me to school, and she comes out the living room, and she's like, "Why aren't you dressed yet?" I'm like, "Well, I'm watching this. It's really thrilling." She goes, "No, school, now, dress, go, school, dropping you off, let's go." So I remember this. I think she probably will now too. And she could not. It was the biathlon, the one where they have to ski and then shoot and then ski and then shoot. That's what I was watching, and she could not get my ass she could not get my ass motivated to go to school. It's like, no, it's like, come on, I drop you off, let's go. And yeah, so that was that. But yeah, I like avoided NBC with a passion. It's like Saturday nights. Most of the time it was A&E or Spike that I would watch. It's now Paramount, but Spike. Maybe FX if they had a movie on. TBS, TNT if they had a weekend movie on. Cartoon Network usually. History, Discovery. Maybe AMC. 9 o'clock, it would usually be... Well, 9 o'clock would definitely be the time when I'd be avoiding a lot of channels. But 8 o'clock, if it was when I was watching like Britcoms on PBS, it was Keeping Up Appearances was on at 8. Because then usually at 9 o'clock it was As Time Goes By, which I hated with a passion. I never liked the show. 10 o'clock was Are You Being Served? And then 11 o'clock was... for a little while anyway, 11 o'clock was Waiting for God. And that's actually a pretty good Britcom if you ever get a chance to watch it. It's really funny. But then as time went on, it was basically I'd watch like Cartoon Network or Spike or A&E or Discovery or History. I would watch another channel for an hour. Then I would watch something else at 9 o'clock. And then 10 o'clock I would put on PBS because then they changed the lineup up. And at 10 o'clock, it was Waiting for God. Then I would watch that for an hour. There was 2 episodes then. And then sometimes they had Call the Midwife, which I would watch to kill half an hour before Toonami would start. When it was starting up at 11:30, I would watch, kill half an hour watching that. Then I would turn over and watch Toonami for a little bit. Then I would go to sleep. That was the longest stuff that I've done on a Saturday night. I would be up sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock Sunday morning, watching Toonami, and then I would go to sleep. But yeah, I don't really watch NBC, so I don't really have a really good answer for that. But yeah, like I said, I would go with Dan Aykroyd and the one clip that's up on E. That was pretty funny. That's about the only one that even comes to my mind. But now you know why I don't watch a lot of NBC shows. I don't really watch Saturday Night Live. I've seen clips of it. I've seen clips, but I have not actually watched an entire show of it. I've seen clips though. Okay. Question 10. Do you remember getting your first haircut? Yeah, my mom cut my hair in the dining room. Don't ask me what age I was. If you want to know like my first professional haircut where I actually went somewhere, unless there was one earlier that I don't remember off the top of my head, I was in fourth grade. I was in fourth grade, and I got my hair cut because my mom was kind of pissed because my hair was really long, and she wanted me to cut my hair, and I just didn't want to get it cut. I trim my hair now, if anything, because I don't like going to barbers. I don't like going to stylists. I can't stand them. I think it's a racket. I honestly do, at least in my opinion, because they teach you how to do all this stuff. Because I had a lot of my classmates when I was in high school, they were going for like cosmetology and shit like that. And it's like, yeah, it's fine. Be my guest. I'll trim my own damn hair. Thank you. It's literally just trim it. I know how I like it. I just make it look nice. I just trim it so that parts of it are annoying. Like the sides here, I would trim down a bit. The back, I would trim down a bit, and that's about it. Like maybe a little bit here on the front, I would trim down. That's about it. Otherwise, I don't trim a lot of my hair. That's mostly why. It's unruly to begin with. But yeah, I remember like my very first ever haircut was probably my mom cutting it in the dining room. I would just sit on a chair. She cut my hair, and that was it. And that was like for the longest time. So yeah. Let's see here. Can you imagine a show that combines The Daily Show with SNL existing on TV or a streaming service, considering the fact that almost everything on TV is on streaming services as well as on TV? Well, cable's dead. I can't stress this one enough. Cable's dead. I think the whole Charlie Brown specials being moved to Apple Plus is the main point driving that home. Cable's dead. Uh, as far as a show like that, combine the Daily Show with SNL, I think one of those already existed, but don't quote me on it. I kind of remember something like that existing already. And I think it was on a on a streaming site, or actually up on YouTube at some point, where they kind of did like joke segments, but then at the same time they had actual news. So I just don't remember off the top of my head, but I swear there was one like that. I think maybe MTV had it, or it was just like a YouTube show. But yeah, I could imagine that happening. But yeah, it would definitely be streaming service. Cable's dead. Cable is dead. I cannot stress it enough. Cable's dead. At this point, it's just too stupid to fall over. It's dead. It's just too stupid to fall over. That's what cable is. That's what cable's problem is. Cable's dead. It's just too stupid to fall over. All right. Let's see. What's the next question here? Did you know that Nancy Sullivan was a game show host on the Game Show Network before Nickelodeon called her? Okay, I actually have to Google who that is. I know, that's kind of sad. I have to Google somebody. I know, hold on. Nancy Sullivan. A-N-C. Nancy. S-U. Here we go. Nancy Sullivan. Because the name sounds familiar to me. Oh, okay. This is Drake and Josh mom. Okay, yeah, alright. Now, okay. Yeah, the Drake and Josh mom. Okay, I remember. I thought she sounded familiar. She was also on the Amanda Show. She played Marcy Stimple, Mrs. Klutz, Misty Boat, and various teachers, as well as customers on Block Blister and Drooper sketches. Okay. Uh huh. Okay. Let's see here. Squirrel Boy, Drake and Just Go to Hollywood. She was also in Zoe 101. Double Dare 2000, she was herself along with the cast of The Amanda Show. Okay, I'm literally looking at her film and television filmography here, and I don't see Game Show Network. I see 1984, Single Bars, Single Women, she was the sister. Boiling Point, she was a clerk. Guns and Lipstick, she was customer service officer. The Setting Sun, she was Sherry, palm reader. From 1999 to 2002, she was various characters and herself on The Amanda Show. In 2000, she was on Double Dare 2000 as herself, along with the cast of The Amanda Show in the notes. Then she was Drake and Josh's mom on Drake and Josh from 2004 to 2007. 2005, she was on Zoe 101 as Mr. Bender's wife, reprising her role as Drake and Josh's mom in 2006 for Drake and Josh Go Hollywood. For a year on Squirrel Boy, she was Mrs. Johnson, or Miss Johnson. Again, played Audrey Parker Nicholas in Drake and Josh, Really Big Shrimp, and Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh, both of which I hated. 2013, Abner the Invisible Dog, she was Jackie. And 2017, Monster Island, she was Dina, Old Lady Teacher Voices. So, okay. Yeah, I literally Googled her, and that's like right off of Wikipedia. And IMDb. I mean, if she was on the Game Show Network, that's cool. You know, that's cool and all. She was on the Game Show Network. That's cool. That's cool. I just don't. Boiling Point. That was that. What's his name movie? Huh. I almost had a chance to watch that. I just never did. Oh, really? She was in Barbie Dreamtopia as Watermelon Woman. Huh. Okay. That's just Yeah. Okay. No, I'll pass on that. Thank you very much. Let's see here. She's a TV series, Setting Sun. She was on JAG. Okay, Beverly Hills 90210. Let's see the news. Melrose Place, Boiling Point. Oh, she was also on Doogie Howser. She was the waitress in okay, cool. In an episode. Matlock. Salvation, You Said Your Prayers Today. Yeah, she's a girl at the poker game. That was in '87. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, it doesn't really say though about her being on the Game Show Network, but okay, cool. She was a game show host. Okay, cool. Didn't see any filmography on it, but that's cool to know. Okay, neat. Whatever floats the boat. I mean, they can get anybody from anywhere can be an actor, so whatever floats the boat. Okay, long question. All right, let's try it. If you had a choice to make Nick, Cartoon Network, and Disney Channel each of the other networks to give one their own shows, which would you pick? Okay, let me try this one again. So, and I'm going to move this so you can see me moving my lips here so you know I'm actually talking. If you had a choice to make Nick, CN, which is Cartoon Network, and Disney Channel, each of the other networks to give one their own shows, which would you pick? Just want to make sure I got that right here. I just want to make sure I got that right. I just want to make sure I have it right. All right. So, if I gather the question correctly, you want to know if I had a choice to make Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and Disney each take one of the other shows, which would I pick? If I am understanding this correctly. I hope I am. Okay. Well, for starters, all three of them can blow. They all really have sucky shows. There was a show on Disney called Dog with a Blog. Honest to God, when I saw that, I figured that would have been way better on Nickelodeon than on Disney, because Disney really beat the shit out of that show, and not in a good way. Then again, if I had a really good choice, I would pick Girl Meets World before it got canceled and shove that over onto either Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. I'd probably go with Nickelodeon. Sorry, not Cartoon. With Nickelodeon, because Nickelodeon, they had a decent track record. Even though it was a horrible Dan Schneider era, they had a decent track record when it came to the live action shows, the drama, tween centric soap operas, basically. I loved Zoe 101. I thought that was great, but then they just ruined it with iCarly. That was just a dumpster fire of garbage. Victorious wasn't bad, but then you had Sam and Cat, and it was just like, nah, fuck this. And then Henry Danger, and when that ended, it was the end. I was like, oh, thank God. The era of Dan Schneider was done, and I was like, oh, thank God. It's over. No more Dan Schneider bullshit. So that was a good omen. But yeah, I would go with that. As far as like taking one off of Nickelodeon, well, you know what? They can keep their fucking mascot. He can blow all he wants. I would probably move the Loud House over to Cartoon Network, in all honesty, because that would probably do a lot better over there than on Nickelodeon. But then again, Nickelodeon kind of would want it to stay for Nicktoons and all that other bullshit, so that's their problem. But I would say Power Rangers probably then for Nickelodeon take off and throw that onto Cartoon Network, because at this point, Cartoon Network's the only one of the three that hasn't had it yet, so I would do that. As far as Cartoon Network's concerned, I don't even know what the hell they have anymore. Infinity Train, Teen Titans Go. I have heard that they've canceled Thundercats Roar, which thank God. Oh, thank God. They have I guess We Bare Bears, but I know they're coming out with, like the baby one where they're like the pre to the older bears, so there is that. Um, but if we're throwing like old shows into this mix too, uh, if we're throwing older shows into this, I would definitely say that they can shove Clarence's ass. They could have shoved Clarence's ass over on the Nickelodeon. I think that would have fit that perfectly. Or, oh no, that would fit perfectly. And while we're at it, they could give, although they can't really give Teen Titans Go to Disney because they're owned by Warner Brothers and Disney's is Marvel. They could have gave that was a Cartoon Network show too. They could have gave Disney Uncle Grandpa, I guess, but yeah, the way they sit right now, all three of them suck anymore, so I really don't know what to give them. I mean, Nickelodeon has the Loud House, and that's about the only saving grace they have anymore, because they are literally SpongeBob Ahoy, and SpongeBob can blow me, as far as I'm concerned. And yes, I have seen yes, before anybody asks, I have seen the video, apparently, where I'm going to Brazil, because I did a rant on SpongeBob. I love that. I laugh so hard. If the person that made that, if you're watching this, if your goal was to make me feel horrible, you failed. I laughed so hard at that. I don't even get it. I just laughed so hard because you honestly think I'm gonna run from that little yellow bastard? I don't think so. So let me get my size 15 boot and plant it betwixt SpongeBob's cheeks. But I mean, if we're going like programming block wise, I would definitely shove Toonami somewhere else. But I wanted to have its own. At this point, I would rather it have its own streaming service than give it to another network to butcher. But yeah, like I said, I really can't pick a decent choice for all of these because, like I said, I don't even know what the hell Disney has anymore in regards to shows. The last show on Disney that I actually watched was Girl Meets World, and then they canceled that. Why, I don't fucking know. What the hell? Were they expecting lightning to instantly strike in a bottle? I mean, you're pitching it to a new concept. It wasn't that bad, though, but still. But yeah, so there was that. Yeah, otherwise, I really don't have a decent answer to what I could pick for each one. But like I said, Loud House, though, I would shove over to Cartoon Network. Or, no, I put the Loud House, no, yeah, Loud House and Cartoon Network. That would work out a lot better. Something for Disney. No, they have their own little fucking mascot. I would say Glitch Text, but that's pretty much on Netflix only. So I don't really know. Eh. I knew I felt the sneeze coming. Okay. But yeah, that's about what I would pick. At least out of what they currently have, to the best of my knowledge. Infinity Train Cartoon Network can keep. I can't instantly say sayonara to Teen Titans Go because they're owned by Warner Brothers. Cartoon Network is owned by Warner Media, basically, and yeah, that would literally be, if I would try shoving that on either Disney or Cartoon Network, they would be pissed. Or sorry, Disney or Nickelodeon, they would be pissed. So I can't really say that. I don't even know what Disney all has left limited to the barn, but like I said, I always thought that show Dog with a Blog would have worked a lot better on Nickelodeon than on Disney. But yeah, I mean it's a good question. Don't get me wrong, it is a good question. I just don't have a valid answer for it because I don't know what Disney all has anymore. And if you're literally asking like the current Disney programming, I don't know. Hell, I don't even know what Cartoon Network all has limp into the barn anymore. I know they have Infinity Train and Teen Titans Go. That's like all I know. And Toonami on Saturday night. That's it. That's literally all I know. That's like it. As far as Nickelodeon, it's SpongeBob and Loud House. That's about all I know too. So. But yeah. Oh, and Power Rangers. But like I said, I've just shoved Power Rangers onto Cartoon Network because they're the only ones that haven't had it yet. But yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad of an answer, I think. Alrighty. So let's see. Next question here. And like I said, that's like the best I can make of that answer. I'm really sorry. Next question. What's your favorite holiday? Ugh. Truthfully, I don't really have one. I know a lot of people say, Andrew, you like Christmas, right? No, not technically. In my house, or when I was growing up, in the house that I lived in, where I lived at, Christmas was a massive pain in the ass. That got worse as it went on. It would be when I was a kid, I would wake up, see the presents in the living room, want to open them, get pissed off because I can't, or piss off the family members who were up, keeping an eye on it because Andrew's gonna be snooping. Yes, he is a child. Hell, the one year I remember I was getting into Pappyland. It was a drawing show that was on TLC when they still had shit for kids, and they were called the Learning Channel. Now it's basically the whatever the fuck you want to call it channel. The loser channel, I guess. the lost channel, TLC, the lost channel. Whatever you want to call it. I wanted to watch that because it was a 2-part episode where Pappyland was getting destroyed, and I wanted to know what was going to happen. And I was like, oh my god, something's, I wanted to watch this. And my mom's like, stay in bed, or you're not getting any presents. And then I was kind of like bummed out, but yeah, there was that. Thanksgiving, another one of the not. I enjoy holidays, mostly for the same reason as Christmas, only minus the presents. We'd have the family come over, family would get annoyed and pissed off, or family would pick an inopportune moment to come over, like we're literally eating dinner and we only budgeted for 4 people. So there was that. Which often pissed off a lot of family members. I never liked Halloween at all. Hated it with a passion. And then my mom found out years after I had to put up with it in school. We always had to do this Halloween parade when I was in elementary school. Then she found out years later from one of the secretaries, you do realize you could have taken your son out on Halloween. You could have just said, no, I'm taking him home. And she could have gotten me out as an exemption from it because of it. And she didn't know about it until years later. So that was fun. 4th of July, I'm not exactly a huge fan of. Labor Day sucks. Then again, I never really celebrate Labor Day. 4th of July is mostly just hamburgers, hot dogs, and in all honesty, it's a freaking weekend. Memorial Day is the same thing, it's just hamburgers, hot dogs. This is a 3-day weekend. Uh, Groundhog's Day. Look, I will say this. The only thing that I like about Groundhog's Day, living in the state of Pennsylvania, Fosnots. Lovely donuts that have no hole in the middle. They're just donuts. I like cutting them open, putting some frosting on it, closing it back up, and eating it that way. I love Fosnuts. I love Fosnuts. Those are, I love those. I love those. Those are tasty. And the only time they ever come around is in February because of, I think it's Fat Tuesday, but I don't care. It's Fosnut Day. It's all I'm concerned about, and I can get Fosnuts. I can eat donuts, and I love those donuts. They're so tasty, especially with the icing. The icing really helps. But I hate Groundhog's Day because I hate the groundhog. Punxsutawney Phil can blow off. I feel like Bill Murray every year on February 2nd, and it's Groundhog's Day, and I'm like, oh God, here we go again. It's Groundhog's Day again here in hell. Yeah, it's a nightmare. New Year's Day, I forget it. By that point, at least for me, especially the last couple of years, New Year's Day has basically been sleep, sleep, sleep. I'm catching back up. My body's finally catching up from all the night shift. So, yeah, nothing. New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve to me, I used to watch the ball drop, and this is a true story. I used to watch the ball drop every single year. I would purposely make sure that I stayed up regardless of how tired I was, how sleepy I was. I would stay up long enough to watch the ball drop. The one year I had a punch balloon that I was batting around. Apparently I was making too much noise, pissed off my grandfather, and he yelled up into my room to tell me to shut the hell up, which was fun because he's the one that gave me the punch balloon in the first place. Yeah, that's funny. But the one year I ended up getting sick. I think it was 2000 and I want to say 2011 going into 2012. I got sick and I ended up throwing up. I ended up going to bed. Some point during the night, I ended up getting really, really, really ill. I mean, like, really ill. And I threw up. And all of New Year's Day, because my grandmother was in the hospital at the time. My grandfather went in to see her. My mom was getting over a cold that she had. And I am literally on the couch, dead to the world, because I was so sick it wasn't funny. I had thrown up. I swear it was like after midnight or right about midnight. I crashed on the couch. As I remember watching the next Avengers, that animated Avengers movie where the kids of the Avengers took on Ultron and Iron Man was there. I remember watching that in sporadic parts. Then I remember turning it over to Nickelodeon because it was like 3 channels up. And I remember watching, I think Victoria Justice did like this werewolf movie. And I kept coming in and out of sleep. And I'd fall asleep, then I'd wake up, and I'd fall asleep, and I'd wake up, and I'd fall asleep, and I'd wake up. And I'm like, this is the longest movie I have ever watched in my life. Not realizing that it's the same movie. I've just been falling in and out of sleep and getting like 5-minute intervals of sleep. And I didn't know it. So there was that. And then there was the whole, I ended up ending that day watching Billy the Exterminator. But yeah, I was like dead to the world. Like literally during the night, I ended up finally getting my appetite back. And the next morning, it's like, yeah, I'm really hungry. I ate like a couple bowls of Rice Krispies. So I was just really hungry. But yeah, no, that was like it for me. So New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, that was it. I was done. Because after you miss the ball drop once, then it's like, yeah, all right, fuck it. It's not worth it anymore. Pfft, I don't care. So yeah, I'm not really a fan of any holiday, to be honest with you. It's just none of them thrill me to the point that I actually want to sit down and do it or watch it or anything else. None of them thrill me. So there is that. Alrighty. Next question. If you had a map that could take you to different places in the world, what would it be like? That's a pretty cool question. So if I had a map that could take me any place, to take me to different places in the world, what would it be like? I'm assuming like a map, like a physical map or a digital one. If we're going digital, it's just like probably like a tablet that you just tap where you want to go and it teleports you there as long as you're holding on to the tablet. If we're talking like a paper, like magical, mystical voodoo type map here, where like enchanted, it's a piece of actual paper. Probably like a regular map, but it's literally of the whole world, and it can just like as you open it up and go wider and wider, like you can keep some of it folded accordion style and pull open like parts that you specifically want to search for and go that route. So that would be that's what I would imagine would be pretty cool. Well, what would it be like though if I had that? Pretty neat actually. I would probably be hanging out in Japan almost 24/7. I'd probably head down to see a lot of sights, check out a lot of stuff in the world, like shorelines, oceans. A lot of the pictures that I see on my laptop and desktop when I'm loading them up, I finally have a chance to see those in reality. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. So yeah, something like that, basically. Let's see here. If you could make Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and Disney give each one of their give one of their shows to each other, what would you pick? Okay, so I guess you like sent the same question twice and I didn't catch it because I didn't understand it the first time. Okay, so I guess that's the actual translation of it. Okay, so there's actually only 19 questions then this month. Yeah, seek my answer a little while ago in regards to that. That's basically how I felt. But thank you though for clarifying your question. I cannot believe I actually missed that. I guess I just didn't notice the wording was different. It didn't click in my mind. So, okay, that was my bad. It was my bad. I make mistakes too. I'm human. I make mistakes. Yeah. Well, I basically answered it. I don't know what Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and Disney have anymore. I mean, Nickelodeon has SpongeBob, Power Rangers, and Loud House. I don't know what else they have. Cartoon Network, to the best of my knowledge, still has Teen Titans Go, and then you have Infinity Train. And I have no clue what Disney's limping to the barn with. I got nothing on that. Other than their, like, Mickey Mouse shit, whatever the hell they have for that. I don't know. Okay, next question then. If you were able to reboot SpongeBob, how would you do it? You can't say have SpongeBob die. Oh. Damn it, but that's half the fun. I could make it more entertaining. He'd die every episode like Kenny from South Park. Aw, damn. Alright, you're actually going to want to hear my thoughts on how I can make SpongeBob less stupid and less god-awful. Alright, it's finally time to do this. If I were able to reboot SpongeBob, how would I not make it so stupid and annoying that would actually be entertaining? Well, for starters, I would not be bending physics over my knee and shoving a screwdriver up its ass, for starters. Fire does not exist underwater for a reason. You explain that shit, then we get started. Honestly, I don't know, to be honest with you. I could come up with like 6 or 7 ideas if I had a way to reboot it. But in all honesty, if I were given that task of rebooting SpongeBob, I would first off not even attempt it, for starters. Second, I would literally, like I said, have him die every episode and then come back like Kenny from South Park. I would just do that entirely. I guess that kind of throws an interesting idea. You could just make it be like a South Park style thing, just without the swearing and the sexual jokes. Oh, then again, there are kind of already are in SpongeBob, but I won't get into that. We just do that. Have it be a show where SpongeBob basically does his everyday mundane tasks and gets annoyed by the world around him, or tries to, show the wondrousness of the world around him to other people and how he perceives it. There's an idea. Or better yet, Just cancel the damn show and don't reboot it. Uh, sorry. If I were able to reboot SpongeBob, I wouldn't even want to try. Honest to God, I wouldn't even want to try. Oh God, I wouldn't even want to try. I really wouldn't even want to try. Yeah, I guess it'd just be like a slice of lifestyle show, something like what the Loud House is. Episodic in nature, but all connected together, not like all episodic, like they're individual episodes, but they're all connected in the grand scheme of things. So like each season has a theme that the episodes kind of like lean towards, but are standalone in their own right. That you could pull up clips of them, watch it, or you could just watch the standalone episode and not miss anything entirely. And you could catch up with everything like in the episode. You understand what's going on, just like that. That's what I would do. Plot wise, SpongeBob just does his daily life, moves this Bikini Bottom, maybe finally just marries Sandy, gets it the fuck over with since everybody wants him to anyway. And, that'd be about it. Just his daily life, shit that he does, day off, stuff like that. I don't really know what to say. Uh, Me reboot SpongeBob? Really? I want to take my freaking size 15 boot and stick it up SpongeBob's ass, and you want me to reboot the show? That's a good one, though. I will admit, that is a good question. But yeah, like I said, I would just make it like a slice of lifestyle show. Just have SpongeBob do his everyday tasks, but have a story element behind the whole season and not be the standalone crap that it is now. Have like each episode be a unique way in which it works itself and have an overarching story arc, whereas each episode still is separate from it, but together as a whole. Like the season, like let's say season one deals with SpongeBob moving to Bikini Bottom, and like he's getting to know everybody in town, but it's all standalone episodes. Like, oh well, today I'm dealing with so and so at the Krusty Krab, or oh well, I'm going to check out the new Kelp Mart or something, or oh well, I'm the rival Plankton, something like that, and each episode's standalone, but connected in the same premise of we're getting to know the world around us. Then continue on from that. It wouldn't last more than 5 seasons. That much I can tell you. All right. Favorite characters from any manga and anime series: Goku, Kirito, Lan and Hub from Mega Man. Got the uh the Devil, Sadao from The Devil's a Part-Timer. I liked him. He's pretty funny. I'm going off of anime first. Gosh, so many anime. I watched so much anime. Oh God, I watched so much anime. So many characters. So many characters. So many characters. Kisuke Urahara from Bleach. God, so many characters, so many anime series. I mean, I've watched a lot of anime, so I would really have to sit down and think about that. But that's at least some of them anyway. I mean, you can even throw Vegito in there, the fusion of Goku and Vegeta. Yugi. I mean, like Atem and Yugi, so both of them. Well, no, Yugi and then Atem, so they would be favorite characters too. And that's just the anime side. Manga, Chiharu Shinonome from Aiken. We got Ichitaka Seto from Eyes. Because it was only put into Jap. I mean, there's an anime for it, but I like the manga a lot better than the anime. Both are good, but if I had to choose one, I'd choose the other. Moritaka Masahiro from Bakuman. Though both renditions of them are actually quite good. I could throw another one too on the anime side. Oriki from Hokua. He was pretty cool. I liked him. He's got the lazy person motto, and I appreciate that. Yeah, it's like about all I got. I mean, manga-wise, I haven't read that many manga series, other than, like, what I got from Shonen Jump and what I bought myself, which is all over in a box. Maybe I'll show that to everybody someday. This is my manga collection. Maybe I'll show that off someday. I mean, I have most of it in a box, minus the ones that I want to try to get rid of that I bought, like, one copy of real cheap because FYE was going out of business and they had their manga section. Or, oh, look, they had their manga section. There was a massive clearance. So I just, like, bought manga. But yeah, so those are my favorite characters, basically. I mean, there's more. Don't don't worry. There's like way more. I would honestly have to sit down, make the list back up again, or find my list of all the anime series that I've seen, and then go through it and pick out my favorite characters from it. So yeah, there's a lot. I mean, he's also Sailor Jupiter from Sailor Moon, but no, I always did like her. Okay, thoughts on newspapers? Do you like them? No, 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 not really. No. Uh, we had ours for the longest time, and then it started getting thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And my grandfather was like, "I'm not paying for this anymore." That's fine. Most of the stuff that was on there we could find online anyway. I mean, I remember, and I said this to my mom when Ellen Page came out to everybody. We all knew about it over the weekend. The newspaper literally reports it Monday morning in big, bold text on the entertainment section. And she did that like Friday night, Saturday, like Friday night, Saturday. Boom, entertainment section. Front page. And it's like, we all know. Anybody with a fucking computer and access to the internet knows. It's like, come on, guys, really? No. Yeah, newspapers were a good thing back in the day. I won't deny that. But nowadays, I can literally pull up everything on like Google News, Twitter, Facebook. YouTube even has a better news section than most of the newspapers do. So, yeah. And then there's Kotaku. Um, there's like so many sites that just do news. So, yeah, no. Newspapers were good way, way back in the day. But nowadays, no. They suck. All right, and we're up to the final question. And if I missed any, by the way, in the comments, I did try to get them all. And like I said, I did kind of mess up. I didn't realize that there was a duplicate. That kind of slipped my radar, which does happen. I am human. But if I missed any, please let me know in the comments. If I missed your question or if you think I missed one, let me know and I'll add it in for next time. I do apologize if I did. Like I said, October's been a pretty hectic month for me, so there is that. Okay, last question. How many episodes of The Angry Video Game Nerd have you seen so far? Every single one he's put out, basically. I have watched, I mean, unless he hasn't put any up that he had on his own channel, like on his own site, I've pretty much seen every single one. I have actually sat through and watched that playlist pretty much from start to finish, at least twice. I like the sports one. I get a kick out of some of the. I get more of a kick out of the older ones when he talked about the consoles than a lot of the newer ones where he's like ragging on the stuff and it's becoming more like a sketch show in a way. I will admit this kind of goes a little downhill, but Chex Quest wasn't too bad. Uh, Sadly, I really hate to say this, but the Gilbert Gottfried one felt a little weak when I rewatched it again. I was like, it was cool the first time. I'm like, it's kind of weak now. Um, there's like so many of them that I kind of feel like are a little weak to the touch, I guess you could say in a way. But otherwise, they're not bad. I have watched, but basically, I've seen like every single one he's put out. I've even seen some of the James and Mike Mondays, but as far as AVGN episodes, I've seen pretty much all of them. I don't think I've missed a single one. I watched the Double Vision. I watched the one where he talked about Rob, the NES accessory. I watched the Game Boy Advance accessory. The Game Boy accessory one. He didn't do one for the Advance yet. He should. Yeah, he freaking should. I didn't watch the No, I did watch. Yeah, I have watched like every single one of them. I don't think I've missed a single one. I've watched both the Bible Games ones. I watched the Sonic '06 one, both versions, like both episodes of it. I watched Drake and the 99 Dragons, Spawn, which honestly was a little weak, but still. Uh, I like the Sega Genesis ones though. The Genesis, the Sega CD, and the 32X. Those 3 episodes are really fun to watch. But yeah, I've seen like every AVGN episode that he's made so far. I've seen them all. Yeah, I don't think I have missed a single one yet. I really don't. Alrighty, and that's yeah, that's the end of the Q&A. Wow, wow, I can't believe that we actually wow, holy shit, we're over an hour into this. Damn, we're getting good now. So yeah, I would say here, let me tell you when I'm gonna do the next one, but like I said, pending any issues with family or any issues in general, we do have a place to live, but like I said, pending any issues, so I don't want to commit to something just yet. I'll put a date up, and I'll put a tentative one, or I'll say something on the podcast this week, like when it'll be. So there is that. Plus, November kind of starts when I do night shifts, so I kind of have to gauge how that goes. I mean, I could, honest to God, I could shoot for the 23rd to have the questions in if we really want to go that route, and I could put it up on Thanksgiving. If everybody's all right with that, we could do that. So if all else fails, 23rd is a tentative date, and I will probably put it up on Thanksgiving. So there is that. But I know I'll be working night shift right about that time. So if you're expecting a heartfelt and warm, like this is sort of Q&A, you're going to have more of a tired, grumpy, dear God, I just got done with an 8-hour shift, annoyed Andrew. Sort of like my one in December last year. Because I not only did that, but I reviewed like 2 movies. And I'm like, oh God, no, I'm done for the. I was done for the day. But yeah, so I'll shoot for the 23rd as of right now. If I change my mind, I'll let everybody know on the podcast this week. So keep your ears peeled for that. Otherwise, thank you all for tuning in for this month's Q&A. Happy Halloween, because this is going up on the 31st. Yes, that's right. Well, it's a rare occasion that Halloween not only falls on a Saturday, ends the damn month on a Saturday, and is in a blue moon. So I figure this is a blue moon style event. Why not do something blue moon related? So, of course, this is going up on Halloween. So happy Halloween, everybody. Basically. And until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes. This has been the monthly Q&A. You ask them, I answer them. Q&A video session here on the Web Designer 18 YouTube channel. Don't forget to thumbs up the video, thumbs down the video, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes. I'm out. I gotta go to bed. I gotta get up for work in the morning. Night, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful month. And I'll catch you all next time. Bye.